Okay everyone, welcome to our second episode. In this video we're going to actually start writing our first code. So in the last video we created a project and we kind of talked about the project structure and where stuff is at. So now we're going to start by writing some code, and I think where better to start than by controlling a motor, because that's basically the first thing that anyone, whatever kind of robot they have, that's the first thing you're going to need to do is learn how to control motors. So in the last video we said that op control is what you want to write code in for just working at home, because that's where the robot is running when you're not on any kind of field control or competition switch. So we have opcontrol.c here open, okay, and we're going to write code right down here, okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a command, and we're just going to use the term command now as just to get an understanding of what it does. The command called motor set. And just so I'm not just telling you everything, but so that you understand where this comes from, we can go and look at the pros documentation. So we're going to go to their website again. And I'm going to go to docs. And here you have in API, you have a list of all the different commands that Pros has. And so these are all like unique things to Pros for interacting with like the different hardware, the different physical things that Vex gives us. So we have speakers, we have different sensors, and the thing that we're interested in right now is motors. So we have 3 commands for motors: motor get, set, and stop. And the one that we're interested in is motor set, which is what lets us control the movement of motors. And motor stop does that too, but it's just basically a special case of motor set, because we can use motor set to stop motors as well. So what this tells us here is that the thing is named motor set, which is what I typed, and then we're going to have parentheses after that. And inside these parentheses we're going to put 2 numbers. The first number is the channel, or the port that the motor is, so the motor port on the Cortex from 1 to 10. The motor that I'm working with is in port 3. And then the second number is the speed, so this is how fast we want the motor to turn, or how much power we want to give the motor. And this can be a number between negative 127 and positive 127, with negative 127 being the fastest in reverse, and positive 127 being the fastest in the forward direction, and then right in the middle, 0 is off, so it won't turn at all. Okay? So let's give this motor just like a low speed in the forward direction, relatively low. So let's just say like 50. Okay, and then we end this line with a semicolon. So this is important. We have motor set, and then we have parentheses. First the motor port, and then a comma, and then the second number is the speed. Then we close our parentheses, and then we end the line with a semicolon. Okay, and then I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to build it, and you can use F9 or you can use Control Alt B to do this, but I'm doing this so you can see what I'm doing. So we build it, and then we're going to upload it to the robot. Okay, and if you get the green bar, that means it built correctly. And then you can see the status bar filled up, and it says it downloaded, uploaded, whatever, to the robot correctly. Okay, and so now let's switch to our robot and see what we get here. I talked in the last video about wanting to be able to show what our code does, so I kind of have a decent setup for that now. I have a nice camera, but I don't have HDMI video capture card, unfortunately. I just have an old school one. So we have semi-decent, not very great video. But it'll do for our purposes. So here we go. Here's our robot. So this wheel is attached to the motor that is in port 3. So I'm going to turn the Cortex on, and you see that it spins. And it's spinning at like a modest speed right now. So let me go back to our code, and let's put 0 here. So we said that 0 means it's off. So if we change this to 0, that should stop the motor. So I'm going to build it again. I just did Control-Alt-B this time, and then we're going to upload it once more. While it's uploading, the motor stops if you can hear it. Okay, and now it finished uploading, and the wheel stopped spinning. Okay, and now let's try something else here. So now I'm going to try -10, so a very small number in the opposite direction, and let's see what that does when we put it on our robot. Okay, so now the wheel is turning super slowly and it's turning backwards. And so now I'm not gonna, well, here. So now let's make this -100, so much faster, okay? And so I just built it, and now I'm gonna upload it, and let me switch to the video. So it stops while it's uploading, because the code stops running. And now, boom, it's spinning super fast backwards. And now let me change this to +100. Build it again. And upload. And now it's going to spin fast in the other direction. And now you can see it's going forwards. Okay, so that's how you control motors. Let me turn that off because it's rather annoying to listen to. So that's how you control motors. You use this motor set function, and then you give it the motor port number and the speed that you want it to turn at. And so if we have a bunch of motors here, we could set them all to different speeds just by putting one line after the other. So let's do our motor in port 4. Or actually, I think port 2 is what I want. No, that's not the right one. It's actually 4. Yeah, there we go. So let me just adjust this camera a little bit. That's really bad. So now here's our back wheel, and I gave it a speed of 10, and it's actually not even enough to make it turn. So let's turn that up to 100, and let's turn this one. So 127 was the fastest, right? So let's just go as fast as we can. Okay, and now you can see this wheel's turning forwards, and the front wheel is also turning forwards. Okay, and then we'll just go back to our code one more time and turn both those off. And so we can set any number of motors that we want in the same way just by putting them all one after the other in these lines. We can do alternate number of motors. Okay. So that's how you set motors in Prose, how you control them. And so I think we'll stop there. In our next video, we're going to look at reading from the joystick so we can actually control our motors by driving the robot. And we'll start writing our first operator control routine.